Truly incredible.
Yeah.
Hello, stream.
So, what do you want to get?
Familiar. I'd like to, as I said, take the cleric and go into the familiar shop. I'm gonna tell that stuff to the shopkeeper and then ask for advice from them both.
So you want the advice from the cleric?
Yep. Besides,
Alright,
just let
go ahead
take the
ask.
side, obviously. So, you've been traveling for a while now, right?
Indeed.
What do you think would cover my weaknesses the best? Within my range, I mean.
You lack armor.
Yeah. I'm
You
decent
lack
at
a
dodging,
weapon.
though. No.
Ah, you have a
Well,
weapon.
yes. I'm pretty good at hitting, and I can heal a bit. But I'm not too versatile, and I don't have many ways of getting around. If something's resistant to my punchies, I'm pretty damn then in trouble. And if things go south, I usually can't help much, aside from healing.
And you're looking at all of these familiars for what purpose?
Well, I wanted first an ally, a companion. I knew of the Find Familiar spell. That was what I originally had in mind.
Ah,
This
you
sounds
want an
better.
ally lesser, something that follows your command.
Not necessarily, and she furrows her eyebrows.
And do go on.
I've heard of familiars that are able to help distract the enemy and stuff. If possible, I'd like it to be a mutual relationship in some way. I just don't know how that would be. I'm not really 100% sure how the Find Familiar spells works anyway.
Well,
I know
it
it's
takes a
spirit,
spirit,
right?
usually from the ethereal plane, and it conjures it to the material plane. It then
Is it
binds it in a
willingly?
vessel of your form.
Does it do so
Define
willingly?
willingly.
Does it choose to go with you?
It chooses, yes, but it chooses so out of a need to avoid the endless darkness that they exist in.
That is horrible. I mean, I guess that would be better, right? But
What god do you worship?
I don't know many, if any, gods.
So you have not picked a faith?
No, I don't know many, if much, of any gods.
Well, you
I
should
know of
consider picking one. For those
yeah,
who
I
do
know
not
of
have a faith, are unfortunately going to find themselves without somewhere to
an
go when all of
afterlife.
this is over.
Yeah, but I what Vulpes knows about the afterlife, right?
Not really.
Then yeah, then this would be good weird news for Alyssa. Oh, so that's what's happened to atheists, huh? That's weird. I guess I just don't want to follow a random god that I don't actually believe in just because I'm scared. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Um, what about you? What god do you follow? I mean, you're a cleric, right?
I follow a path that fate has decided for me.
Is fate a god?
That's entirely possible.
I see. Well, anyway, I only really know of a few gods. I know of Nathan Deus from the Celestial Continent. What gods do I
Nathan
know about?
Deus.
Yeah,
That is not a name I've heard before.
I don't know too much, but pretty popular over there. What gods do I know in the Mortal Continent, James?
You have not been educated in any.
Right, so the only god I know of is Nathan Davis. Cool. Yeah, that's about it.
I see.
They didn't really prioritize religion in the school I went to.
Well, there are a handful of active gods, at least those that I know of.
Oh yeah, but which ones are like, I don't know.
I cannot tell you which ones would be best for you.
I know. I have the habit of asking for others' opinions and things before forming my own. I don't think that's very good for me. It's just an instinct, I suppose. I guess we do
Indeed.
like to look up and get chewed up answers, huh?
Yeah, back just grabbing my water bottle.
Sure.
Alright, I've got it.
Uh,
As you were saying,
Alice was just musing about her habits to look at asking for others' opinions before forming her own. Definitely too important. She would ask if there's any gods of freedom in a more, I suppose, traditional sense.
there's Lumara, there is Xandar, Tenebris, I suppose.
She cocks her eyebrow at the I suppose. That is an ominous name.
There's Anar, and Zalef, possibly. Though I wouldn't go around trusting Zalef too much, or any of his followers.
Huh, why's that?
They're quite the tricky bunch.
Ah, freedom is in trickery? Like lying and stuff? Or responsibility, maybe? Is that what you mean?
Not bound by your words, your intentions, your actions.
Ah. I can think of a few people who like that god. Not for me, though. You've been on the road for how long now?
Can you repeat that?
How long have you been on the road?
Only 2 days.
Really?
Indeed.
Huh, you're fresh from the astral plane then. Well, I hope you enjoy your
Indeed.
travels.
It does appear to have been a few decades.
Oh, does time pass differently there?
It is simply more difficult to track.
Ah, fair enough. No day and night, huh?
No day or night, and it's worth noting that no one ages while there.
Really? I'm surprised people just don't just go there for immortality then.
Some start their journey for immortality there.
Huh. Yeah, I know a lot of people who would like to be immortal.
It is not as interesting as one might think.
I always figured it came from fear of death, not an interest in life.
I have only met a handful of immortals who have actually succeeded in becoming immortal through the desire to be.
Really? Like who?
There's Mobar,
Yes.
Tenebris,
The guy from earlier. Hold on, give me a second, please. I'm talking to. It was my neighbor. Hello.
Hello.
Well, anyway, as I was saying, I'm not sure I want to become immortal, honestly. I mean, I guess I don't want to die, but that's not really the same thing, is it?
Is there a distinction?
Oh, I will avoid death when it's threatening me, like when I'm fighting, for example. I want to survive, but eventually my time's gonna come, right? Yes, I don't know. If I could become immortal for no prize, I guess I'd do it, but I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna go around after it. You know what I mean?
Doesn't everything have a price though?
They pause to think a bit. Well, I guess some prizes are steeper than others, though.
Indeed.
For example, would you say you lost anything by being in the astral plane for so long?
Can you repeat that?
Would you say you lost anything by being in the astral plane for so long?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but was it worth it?
I don't believe I'm the one to judge whether is or is not worth it.
Aren't you? I mean, it's your life.
Someone who is currently living a moment is incapable of perfectly judging whether something is or is not worth it.
Maybe. But we gotta do what we can anyway, right? That's how decisions happen. We gotta judge our odds. see what our hearts tell us and do it. That's how I see it anyway. Anyway, I'm probably boring you. I'm sorry.
You're not boring me.
Thanks. Yeah. I guess back to the familiar stuff. I would like to offer something to the familiar I get, but I would also I don't know how there's a word for that. It starts with an S. Symbiotic? Symbiotic? Is that how it's pronounced?
Go on.
Mutually beneficial relationship. That would be ideal, right? And within those terms, I guess something that would help me be less incompetent in the areas I fail at, that would be nice too.
And your allies are not good enough?
They are. That's exactly why I gotta be better. I don't want to hold anyone back, you know? Everyone else seems like they've got their stuff figured out. They're competent fighters. They've been around for ages. I don't really have that. I mean, I have a lot of random knowledge and stuff, but I don't know. Last time I kind of felt like I was dragging the thing down, and I don't want to feel like that. So I gotta cover for my weaknesses so they don't have to, and I can actually help. And I can keep learning, like I think I want to.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the monks have this thing where you can't really let your past chain you down, basically. I mean, that's the lesson I took from it anyway. Sometimes things happen and you gotta keep moving forward. I see my issue. I don't want to be held down by it though, so I want to do something about it and just keep moving forward. Can't really stop. You know what I mean?
You referred to the monks.
Yeah.
What monks?
And on the temple. What's the name of the temple, James?
It doesn't really have a name. Most people just
Oh,
refer to it as home.
it's home. Near Karn. It's where my master is
I know
from.
that name,
And
Khan.
you do? It's a city.
Yes, there was a little boy with that name.
Oh. Well, I only know it's a city. It was where I woke up a while ago. It's a nice place. I have a really dear. And then she stops. I had a really dear friend from there.
And they cannot be resurrected?
They can, but I cannot do it, and I have to wait until there's more news on the bureaucracy that killed them. I'm hoping that I'm hopeful that it's gonna happen.
I see.
It was a really fucked up situation. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Just, uh, governments are weird, you know?
That they are.
Yeah, he was executed for helping people escape. It was a whole thing, but I don't want to tell you about that. I mean, it's a long story. The point is, I'm hopeful he's going to be brought back, and I want to show that I've grown when he comes back. You know what I mean? Gotta be the best version of myself. So I'm not gonna dwell on it so much. So you gotta keep moving forward, whatever happens.
I see.
You know about the orcs?
Yes.
You know how long they've been there? I've been asking myself that. And you've been around for a while, so I thought you'd know.
Longer than I've been around.
Oh dear. Well, that's concerning.
Yes, they breached the material plane into the ethereal and then beyond quite some time ago now.
Oh, that is even more concerning. They do some pretty horrible stuff. I hope. I don't know. I don't want to wish for something bad to happen to them, but just same time, ugh, complicated feelings.
They intend to raise an army.
I hope that never happens.
One that's fit to fight celestials and fiends.
So what? They could conquer the world?
So that they can control a plane.
Which plane?
It does not exactly have a name. Only
Ah,
because there is no one to name it.
I see. Man, you're pretty wise.
That is rather polite of you.
I'm not being. Yes, I try, but what I mean is that you know a lot of stuff, and you're very concise about it. I hope to be like that someday. Though I suppose it's just all about trying to be now, huh? Ah, look at me get distracted.
They look at you. Do or do
Oh,
not.
there's no try.
That is something to add to it, I suppose.
Oh, this is chuckles.
What I
Hey, that
simply
brings me
meant by
back.
that is there's only so many paths you can take. And every time you stop to think about what path to take, time passes by and more paths close.
Keep moving forward. Yeah, I guess. And she pauses a bit. I guess it makes sense. Keep moving forward. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Her voice had raised a bit. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I get what you mean. Can't let ourselves be paralyzed by choice, right? We gotta be careful, but gotta be steady. Yep. All right.
Now, as for
Yes.
this list, she's looking over the inventory log.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something that can see what you cannot, a bat.
That would be good. Yes.
If you're looking for something that can travel where you cannot, an octopus. If you're
I
looking
see.
for something that can tell when your death is coming, the death dog. It is said that they will howl one last time, and then die themselves before their master does.
I don't want to know that. When my death comes, it's gonna surprise me, but I don't want to live my last day in fear of it.
Very well. Then what about a hellhound?
A hellhound?
Indeed.
A bit over my price range, though. And also, hell. Isn't it too aggressive? Well, I guess that's a bit reductive of me, isn't it?
Too passive?
Yeah, fair enough. Do you know what a Stargazer Drake is?
Yes.
Yes. It's one of the most beautiful names I've ever heard. I don't know anything about it though, it just sounds pretty.
They're native to outside of the sphere itself.
An outsider. What are they?
I do not know.
Uh,
They're dragon-like, but not elemental.
do you know what size they are?
Gigantic.
Incredible.
I've
And yet,
never seen a young.
sorry, what?
I've never seen one of their young.
I see. Do you
What of
know
the
what they
blink
like?
dog?
The blink dog? I think I know what that is. It teleports, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, that might be decent. I just don't want to touch the void dragon. Not that I have the money for that anyway.
Oh dear, they enslave forest dryads. That is
I I thought that
disappointing.
was horrible too. How does that work? Aren't they people?
Aren't babies people?
Lisa pauses for a second as she ponders what the definition of a person is.
At what point does someone become a person?
I believe sentience, but I don't know how to define sentience. I just kind of
Okay.
always took that for granted.
So what if you stop a creature from becoming aware that it's enslaved?
That sounds cruel, but I can't tell you why.
Is being oblivious cruel?
Slavery is cruel.
But aren't we all enslaved?
To what? To fate?
Indeed.
I don't think so. You said it yourself. We're riding fate as we go.
And what about the rules put in place by gods? We're not bound by those?
Which rules? I don't see any.
Really?
Well, I guess if you consider the laws of reality, rules by the gods.
Aren't they simply rules that you cannot easily break?
I I guess. Yes, I've seen people breaking the laws of how the rules of reality once, but yeah, I guess you're right in that.
And have you ever seen how gods punish those who break their laws, rules of
No,
reality?
it's but I would imagine it's a terrible thing.
Is indeed.
The idea of a god has always frightened me somewhat.
Oh?
Well, if A lot of people have god complexes, you know?
Indeed.
So if we start validifying some of those god complexes, then I don't know, it just feels like we're giving them power.
Well, what makes someone a god?
I don't want that to be power. That's what I mean. The strength of someone shouldn't just make them godlike. There should be something else, but I can't tell you what.
In my experience, it has always been people's faith in a god that makes them a god.
So the faith comes first and the god second? Oh, I suppose that makes sense. It's been how churches are formed, I suppose. Well, then people should have faith in less in people and more in ideas. Like kindness, for instance. Though even that can be twisted.
There are a few different ways that people have become gods. Did you know that you could kill a god and take their divinity?
I've I've heard only barely, but I thought it was a myth.
Every god's divinity is bound to their soul.
So if you kill it should just be gone, right? With the soul. Well, wait, where's the soul of a god go?
Why would it go anyplace else?
Oh, when you kill someone, their soul goes to the ethereal plane, right?
And then where?
I don't know. Doesn't it just stay there?
Only for a time.
What about after?
It moves to the astral plane. And then
And
from
then
there, it finds its resting place.
an afterlife.
If they prescribe to one,
And if they're not,
then they have no place to go from there.
that is terrible. Sounds like a terrible fate. Be lost in the abyss of nothingness forever. What's complicated is that you tell me this, and I wish there was something I could do to help, but there's infinite fights I could pick that way just by thinking about things I want to do and people I want to help, but I can't fight every fight, right?
Why
I
not?
gotta pick my battles. Because there's only one of me, and I can only do what I can do.
Is there now?
He pauses. Isn't there?
Your fate seems awfully tied to those others.
My party?
She shakes her head.
Who?
She gestures her finger as if along a thread, along an invisible thread.
I follow.
Among those who, in a way, created you, your parents.
The foxes?
Is that what they call themselves?
Yes. Her eyebrows furrow a bit. I have complicated feelings regarding that, but I wouldn't want my fate to be tied to theirs.
So then would you sever this?
Can I just not untangle my strand? Let it flow in its own path? I don't want to cut their strands to free mine.
You could cut yours free.
Bye?
She gestures to a sword that's been sheathed.
Death?
No. By cutting fate.
And how do I do that?
You speak one line, and that line will never occur.
I speak one line. What, set me free?
If it's within its power, it will make sure that that line never occurs.
Can you explain that to me again? I seem to have lost a bit.
Very well. Let me start with something a little bit simpler. You're aware of paladins, correct?
Yes, an oath.
Yes, you are aware of how their oath functions?
It binds them to faith that it will.
Yes, but how?
I don't know.
How does a warlock work?
It is connected to a patron, a creature that binds them.
Yes. So then what is a paladin bound to?
Their oath.
Okay. And what forges that pact?
I don't know. Faith? Fate?
How does a warlock seal their pact?
They sign a contract with the patron, a magical one, which binds them both to it. There's
Alright, so
usually clauses that
if the
determine
contract is the catalyst,
what is the patron.
the patron is the individual they've made their deal with, then in a paladin's case, we know that the oath is what they make the deal with. What is
So
the
what is the
catalyst?
contract? I don't know. I don't know. What is it? Alyssa's
How does
eyebrows
not come
furrow,
from nowhere?
and it's then like she starts kind of like racking her brain for answers. Can I roll Arcana for this?
Sure. Actually, it would be divine.
Well, let me. I've rolled Arcana, and I'll roll Divine next. 21 and 30.
Okay, so warlocks draw their power from their patron. Paladins draw
Yes.
their power from the oath itself.
Yes.
Something has to seal
Bind them,
and
right?
solidify both of those connections.
Yeah. There's gotta be a
The oath
strand.
being the reality itself, something has to connect point A to point B.
Yeah. And I don't know what that is.
You
Is
do
it
not,
faith?
in a way,
Like the belief that it will work? That's how primal magic, sorry, divine magic works, right?
yes, but it's not simply just belief.
Then what is it?
It's someone's belief.
The
Someone's
paladins?
belief in you. When a paladin swears their oath, someone is listening. Well, a number of people are listening, but someone believes in them enough to accept their oath.
I see.
And when they accept that oath, they give them that spark of faith that allows that connection to be crystallized, forged, finalized.
I, I see. That puts some things in context. So then, if I swore an oath or something, someone could help?
To find help.
You said my fate was entangled with someone else's,
Yes.
right? Tied to. I don't want it to be.
So then what do you want?
I want to be me. With what I am now. I want to follow my own path, disregarding theirs. Because I chose it. I don't. And she paused a bit as she like racks her brain for the words. I don't feel resentment, but I also don't want to be one more in their ranks. I don't hate because I know, but also because I know what it's like to be me. I can't just accept it. I thought I was free to walk my own path, and I am, but now that you've told me mine is entangled with someone else's, I can't just not know that. If I had a choice, and I'm not sure I do, I would want my strength to be mine, to be free, at least from that, so it made forms its own connections. It's
Very
hard
well.
to put to words.
So you wish to cut yourself free from the other threads that are bound to you.
I, I struggle to say yes, only because of fear what would happen.
Do you know what this sword is?
No, but I would imagine it's a pretty decent sword because you seem to be a strong cleric.
It is a relic.
A relic? How the I'm sorry. A, a relic? An actual relic?
Yes.
Wow, shit, wow, can I see it? I don't need to touch it, just
She takes a sheath off her back and hands it to you. Both the
right.
sheath and the sword are incredibly powerful. The sheath is an artifact. The sword itself a relic.
It is incredible. She admires it. How's the craftsmanship? Leave craftsmanship short, sorry.
It's actually not too fancy in terms of craftsmanship.
Huh.
If it wasn't for a few glowing runes on it, you would even really tell that it's magical from just looking at it.
Interesting. What is it called?
Good question. Let me find that. Just wait
Meta,
for
there's
inventory
no
to load.
way this lady's just a cleric.
Fate Weaver.
The Fate Weaver. Oh, that's appropriate. She gently hands the sword back. Almost reluctantly, but not quite.
She puts it back on her back, almost as if it's second nature. It possesses 5 unique abilities.
What are they?
Twist of Fate, Fate's Edge, Fate Shield, Fated Strike, and Fate Weavers and Fate Weaving.
He nods.
Twist of Fate allows me to change the outcome of a single event that has yet to occur.
I see.
Fate Shield allows me to block any singular attack, as long as I know that it's coming at me.
I see.
Fated Strike allows me to cut through any defense.
That is incredibly powerful. But what about fate weaving?
That is its most powerful effect.
What does it do?
It allows me to cut the threads of fate. You are aware that reality can be altered on a large scale, correct?
Yes.
For example, a spellcaster might be able to create a ball of fire from nothing and have it
Yes.
engulf a 20-foot area.
Oh, there was the event, the magic, the cataclysm with the gold.
I see.
We could see the gears of reality from that place.
I see. So, you are aware that things can alter on a wide scale?
Yes.
Alright. This
This,
protects you from being altered by those.
you see.
While any changes to how something works will also affect you. For example, if someone changed how magic worked and spells were completely haywire, I would still be affected by that because I produce magic in the world and the magic itself is not me. But let's say someone changed reality so that humans now die at 20 years of age. I am myself, and if I am a human, then I would die at 20 years of age. This would protect me from that change.
I see. What's the cost for it? The price?
I would never consider selling such a thing.
No, that's not what I mean. You said
I
earlier,
mean,
everything has a price. I don't want to steal your sword, but this seems incredible. There's gotta be a price to it.
there's always a price.
For example, the strongest type of magic I know has an equally powerful cost.
Whenever I draw this sword, I must be walking the path that fate has put me on. Or
Isn't that just a path?
if I wield it against an opponent who I'm not meant to fight, the fight will end in my death.
How do you know then?
I have faith.
I see. If you were to cut the strand of fate, like you said earlier, well, if I were to find a way to do that, because I'm not sure you can do that, what would happen to me, to my path as of right now?
It would change.
A different destiny.
She's going to cast Major Illusion.
Okay.
Actually, first she's going to take you somewhere private instead of in the store.
Yep. The poor storekeeper just staring at us.
He's been dealing with other customers who are
I didn't
actually
even get
buying.
to buy my familiar yet. Oh well.
And then she's going to cast Major Illusion.
Okay.
You can see that there are a whole bunch of threads tied to you, and it looks
Okay.
like they're trying to pull you in a direction.
Who are those threads?
That one right there, that one's Forkwell, If Form, Lola, Alyssa. You can see that there's several also pulling you backwards,
Yeah?
and those are the ones that you have lost.
Ones I've lost.
Indeed.
The people I've loved who died?
Those who you carry with you in your heart and mind.
And Alyssa shows her the tattoos.
So you have marked yourself with this very fact.
Yes. I. Then she pauses, looking for the words. The monk temple made a point of teaching me that when bad things happened, I couldn't just let them chain me back. I wanted to have a way to carry the good things, the memories, I suppose the spirits of the people I lost with me, even if I move forward from them. I
I
wanted to move
cannot
on.
speak. I cannot speak of those you have lost, but as for Forkwell and Ithorn,
Yes?
they are quite good people.
They look like it.
A little naive, but they are young.
Am I not?
You are an infant.
She pauses. Huh. Are those all the threads? Tied to my own, James?
You can see dozens and dozens.
I see.
We could cut you away from those that pull you back, or we could cut you away from those who pull you forward, or we could cut you away from both, bringing
Who's
you to
pulling me
choose
back?
your own fate. You can see a thread that reminds you of Leo, one that reminds you of Volpes, one that reminds you of. Sorry, just getting up the full list.
There's a list? That's awesome.
It is literally a list of characters that Volpes liked that are dead.
Ah, there's gotta be a lot of them.
There's Kay, because this Volpes does not believe that Kay is alive.
Yep.
There's Nalina,
Nalina? Yeah.
Arthur's master.
I know who it is. I just. Yeah, she's dead, huh? That's unfortunate.
Who else does Volpes believe is Alyssa currently think is dead?
Who else?
Yes.
Well, Shadow, for one.
Yep, you see one that reminds you of Leo.
She probably believes Lapis is dead, which
Yep.
makes her incredibly sad. She believes Temperance is dead. She probably this Vulpes? Yeah, she knows Vecna's alive. Rose, even though she has complicated feelings for Rose, probably Alice too. Azeria, which is, family.
Actually,
And
Alyssa hasn't received word that Azeria is dead.
oh, really?
You never actually told them.
Oh, that is horrible. Because
So,
they
as
all,
far as you're concerned, there'd be a thread pulling you forwards of Azeria.
yeah, because they look up to Azeria a bunch. You know who they think is dead?
Who?
Alice. I've said this before, but still. And also, this is for Soph, I suppose, the person Alyssa was before this whole thing. But even though they're alive, Alyssa kind of considers Soph's parents to be dead because they were like non-functional, right?
Yeah, they would be on the
Yeah,
dead list.
yeah,
I believe you, at this stage, think that Nathan's dead, so he would also be on the dead list.
yeah. Varys,
As you know, as a vampire, so he'd be on the dead list.
yep. Is Vecna pulling me back or forward?
So don't just think of it as a line pulling you. Think of it
Yeah.
as the threads are pulling you in each of their own directions. Some of them are
Yeah, I
closer
can tell
together
that.
than others. Vecna's is
Yeah.
pulling you off in a different direction.
One of its own?
Yes.
I ask them about that one in particular.
This is simply how you view it.
I see.
I presume you're
Yeah, that makes
consenting
sense.
to any magical effects they put on you, by the way.
I am. I am.
Good, because they can't just see the future. This is just how you view your fate.
Yep. I thought as much, yeah. And you say you can cut some of these lines? Or I'll cut my own free, I suppose. I don't want to cut theirs.
You misunderstand.
Oh?
So this string is merely a connection between you and them. It does not end them, it just ends the connection, which cuts you free from their influence.
But what happens to my memories of them? The effect they've had on me?
It ends too.
It ends? But would I be a different person then? Would I just change, forget?
In a way, I suppose.
Can you tell me
You
more?
would, well, she creates a second illusion of a rock being held up by a string.
Yes?
Well, what happens if we cut this string?
The rock falls.
Indeed, she adds 6 more strings to the rock. Now what happens if we cut one of these strings?
It's still in place. But it's shifted
Okay,
position.
indeed. You as a person would shift, but fundamentally you would be who you are. You wouldn't physically change, but spiritually you would be different. You would be freer.
But the lessons I've learned, I would retain those. That's what I'm concerned about. It took me a while to get to where I am.
The lessons you've learned are these strings, your connection to them, the direction that they have imparted on you forever.
I see. Have you cut yours?
No, I have not.
Why? Would you not be freer?
If I cut my own, I would not know for sure that I'd cut my own.
Ah, I see. This is thoughtful, and she tries to visualize the connection she has to the orcs, like the whole trauma event.
You can find that string.
Is
It's
it any
the only
different from the
red.
others? Ah, what about that one?
What about it?
That's the one that bothers me the most, I suppose.
Do you think you'd be better without it?
I don't know. I'm trying my best to move beyond it, but isn't that just part of learning? I don't want to just take the easy way out.
Just because a path is easier does not mean it's wrong. And just because it's more difficult does not mean it's right.
I just
It is how
always
much you value and think through and consider each decision that helps you determine if something is good or right.
She's thoughtful for a second. If there was, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't ask you for your advice in this, but if there was something that held you back very, very strongly, but also defined who you are as a person, in almost every way, really, would you cut it? Something that tortured you every night, something that made you afraid in every morning, something that made you hollow in ways I can't really put to words, but also something that's a huge part of your identity, struggles that made you who you are.
Just because it made me who I was yesterday does not mean it needs to make me who I am tomorrow. Only I get to decide that.
So would you cut it?
If I thought I could be a better version of me,
Right? She pauses to think. That line taught me a lot of what I believe about freedom. How much I hate the idea of people being kept in chains or in cages. But it also gives me anger issues and trust issues and flashbacks and fear. I don't. It's hard to tell. Would I lose the good with the bad? Or would I lose nothing at all? Just be freer from it.
it's always difficult to know. I cannot read fate. I do not know how you will change.
I see.
I'm not even recommending this path.
I
I'm
know.
not recommending you
I
not to
realize
take this
that.
path. I just want you to know that you can choose this if you want to.
It is a path, right? That's what you're telling me.
Indeed.
I understand that. You're not pushing me in any direction, and I appreciate that. Man,
As with
fate
any
is
of the others,
complicated.
I'm happy to answer any questions that are asked of me.
But what do you want?
I have what I want.
And what is that?
Everything I worked so hard to gain.
Alyssa looks at this stranger in a while. You're not just a cleric, are you?
No one is just a cleric. That is a terrible way to view people.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. It was pretty reductive of me. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was just a monk.
I'm barely a monk.
I don't know, I saw your master and you sparring. And
Well,
while that Arthur, he does seem to be a little bit ahead of you in terms of capability at this stage.
I feel like
Well,
everyone
I'm sure
is.
you'll catch up.
That's what I'm trying to do. But like I said, I'm barely a monk because they know what they're doing and I don't. All the people in the temple, they're so full of purpose and wisdom, and I don't have any of those things. But I'm trying. That's gotta be worth something, right?
It is always good to try. But at
But
the end of the
ultimately,
day, you either do or you don't.
you're right. Just gotta find the path, huh? Did I meditate on this?
Of course.
Thanks. I believe I still have a purchase to make.
Very well. I do seek to
Would you
travel
come
with your
with me?
people for some time still.
Alyssa smiles at her. I'm really happy to have you. Truly. It's always good to have a new perspective, right?
And I'm glad to offer it.
Right, Alyssa's gonna take her back into the shop.
Alright,
I would like to approach the vendor.
alright.
First, I'm gonna ask the vendor if they have any recommendations for me within the budget of 5,000.
Gold or platinum?
Uh, Gold. I have 500 platinum.
Alright, what is worth 5,000 platinum? 5,000 gold.
I have a list if you would like me to get to send it in.
But I suppose I could interest you in 50 cats.
Do the cats not sell well?
Everyone wants them.
No?
Yeah, all up and coming mages like them. But people keep using that spell to create them.
Find familiar?
Indeed. Back in the days of Ancient, people wouldn't rely on such magic for their familiars. They'd train them up and develop them on their own rather than just conjuring them into existence.
That sounds like it's more rewarding, but also more difficult.
Of course it is. Magic these days is too easy. You just have to really work to achieve something.
How was it back then?
Before you learn to fly, you'd learn to levitate. There used to be a lot more work going into magic.
Well, I suppose each generation makes it a bit easier for the next, huh?
How about a crystal butterfly?
What are they like?
Well, they don't burn quite as easy, but they're quite fragile to thunder and force.
I see. Can you tell me about the Stargazer Drake?
Sure, I'll need to order it in, but they're these tiny little things from. How do I? You're aware of the different planes
Or
of reality, yes?
yeah, they're outside the sphere, right?
The what?
The sphere,
The what?
the big thing with the planes.
You mean the astral plane?
Yeah.
No, they're native to the astral plane.
Oh,
They show up from time to time inside of the astral plane.
cool.
Always tiny little things.
Do they grow too much?
No, they get to about yay big. They show you about 2, 3 feet, and then they tend to die by then. Don't think
Why?
I've ever seen any bigger than that.
Why do they die by then?
Oh, how do I put this? They get big enough that something else considers them finally worth the effort to eat.
I see. I was thinking of getting something that I could have with me with some ease and something that I could eventually ride. I was maybe thinking of getting two. Having two
Oh,
allies like that would be quite balanced, right? It'd help compensate for my weaknesses.
That's the creature you want, sure.
I'm just asking. Around, I suppose.
There is nothing wrong with wanting that.
I know, but you still feel like you're judging me.
Of course I'm judging you.
Please don't. I'm a paying
They
customer,
lean on
and
the
also
counter. Make me.
she looks at him in the dead in the eye. Please don't. I have enough social anxiety as it is.
He sighs. You know, you could really use some work.
In what way?
Complete lack of manners.
Oh, was I rude? I'm sorry.
That's not what I meant.
She tilts her head. Then what did you mean? I'm always open to learning.
Huh.
Give me a second. Let me turn off the AC.
So it was.
I had to turn off the AC. That's it.
Right.
And before that, she just said, "I'm always open to learning."
So you're not just going to use this thing as some sort of shield, are you?
Absolutely not.
Good. Too often I see you adventurers come in here looking for something to use as a guardian. Take the hits that you won't.
I'm fully prepared to take the hits myself. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I put something in danger, then I should take danger, right? I'm just looking for a partner, I suppose, an ally. Something that's gonna cover my weaknesses. A flyer, maybe, and something that's fast. And, maybe something that's smart, so I can, have a second advice, and, we can have a more mutual thing. I don't want to just, you know, have all the power.
You're a strange one.
She tilts her head. In what way? Alyssa Strange? No.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what?
All right.
In what way am I strange, good sir? Sorry, I don't know what to say.
What are you? Some sort of monk?
Yes, actually.
Don't usually get your kind looking for familiar.
I thought.
Monks tend to be more self-reliant. There used to be, oh, what was his name? Used to be a big shot around here.
I'm sorry,
That
what?
yay big, 4 arms.
4 arms?
Yeah,
Did he
they
wear a
used to call
mask by
him the
chance?
Destroyer.
Like a bird mask?
Not like a bird.
Oh, I don't know of any destroyers. But there's a lot I have to learn still. We're all just traveling along the path of growth. I know a lot of spellcasters, and I know the value of having a familiar, so I thought I'd try to get my own. Something that would help me. But also, I don't want to just abuse them, you know? Like, I'd like to have something symbiotic. Symbiotic, I suppose I should say, sorry.
Let's see.
You know what I mean, right?
I get your point.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, I'm sorry, I've been terribly rude. What's your name? I'm Alyssa.
Sir Iric.
It's a great pleasure to meet you, Sir Eric.
Damn right it is.
You're right, it is. Absolutely earnest.
So what brought you and your friends here?
We are. Oh, actually, we were hired. We went into an adventure, and one of our friends unfortunately died. So we got a. Well, he was resurrected. But the cleric asked us to go to all sorts of places and deliver some products in exchange for some materials that we were gonna get, bring back to her. But we went by ship, and then really near the shoreline, a kraken appeared and killed almost everyone on the ship and destroyed the ship. And then one of our friends was rescued by a group of adventurers that told us, "Hey, if you can sell these things for us, you can keep some of the profits." And now we're doing both at the same time by foot because we have no ship anymore because the kraken destroyed it.
Kraken, that sounds quite unlucky.
Oh boy, you have no idea, Meta. If I had to put it on a scale, I would put it a 1 and a 27. But I digress. It was quite something. This adventure life is really, really weird.
So put one foot in front of the other and keep them going.
Or what?
So you're putting one foot in front of the other and you keep them going.
Always. Just gotta keep moving forward, whatever happens.
And what of that lady that you're with?
The cleric?
Yeah,
She's a new friend. She's traveling with us for a while. She's from far away.
funny. I've seen her once before. At
Really?
least,
When?
I'm not sure.
She said she
I've
was on
seen
the
a
astral plane
face
for
that's just
decades.
familiar.
Yeah. Well,
The
if you
astral
ever remember
plane.
when you saw her from,
Probably
yeah.
haven't.
Well, she was probably here before then, and if you remember how things were before the magic got easier, then maybe you saw her then.
Did I tell you what race this guy is?
Nope.
He is a drow.
It's a drow? Fascinating. I don't think Alyssa knows about that. Oh, she does. She has a full list of memories. Well, she probably wouldn't be on edge anyway. He's not an orc. Well, were you friends maybe?
No, I doubt it.
Fair enough. Well, she's a very kind person. A bit cryptic, but in the best way, you know? Full wisdom. Just wisdom that my head sometimes can make sense of, but I'm trying.
Those old ones always are.
Yeah. But we gotta learn what we can, right? I mean, I want to be the old one someday.
Not with those weak arms of yours.
She pouts. I'm working out, okay? I'm doing my best. Not my fault they kept me in a cage for 10 years.
They kept you in a cage.
Oh yeah, adventure. Not my friends though. People, someone else. The orcs. Adventure, tragic backstory. I hear it's common. Alyssa's eyes glazed over as she tries to make fun of it. She
I see.
fails a bit. Yep. Uh, Probably shouldn't be talking about this with random people, shouldn't I? I'm sorry. Anyway,
Probably not, but hey, you do you.
yeah, I've been trying to get past it and, you know, not put so much weight into it. Anyway, how of these options within like, which one do you think could eventually grow large enough to ride?
Let's see here.
I sent the list of everything beneath a 5,000 or up to 5,000 in V2. Should have sent it in Alyssa, but
You can
whatever.
probably ride an elemental ape.
How big is an elemental ape? Is it a gorilla? Or like a chimpanzee?
I believe they get to large.
Huh. Yeah, I could ride in one of those.
Giant rat, giant frog.
Boulder giant.
I will give you 3 inspirations right now if you buy the giant frog.
Because of Shadrach. Is it because of Shadrach?
Going once, going twice.
Listen, I might buy it. I just don't want to hear about the rest of them.
Pretty much anything that's got giant in its name you could probably ride.
Because it's
Heck, they
giant.
should start nearly ready to ride.
Huh. A giant wasp sounds like the most horrifying thing you can think of that's meta, by the way. Anything else? Not like the giant thingies? And finally, what's a clockwork owl? Does it come from? Wait, do I know about the plane of law, James?
You do not.
So I cannot ask if it comes from there. Yes, just
They're a rare creature. They pop up from time to time.
did it do anything special?
It gets its name from its eyes. They look like gear cogs.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Each their own, I suppose.
Don't you think so?
Uh, Depends. When I enter a room with some of them, it's a little horrifying to first see, especially in the dark.
Oh, I would imagine so. But still, things can be scary and beautiful at the same time, right? Like owlbears. Or well, dragons, really.
Oh,
Speaking, speaking of, I really don't want to know how you have a void dragon.
we keep that thing chained for good reason. He
Yeah,
shivers.
I don't want to know how you got it. Don't tell me more about it. I just hope you know what you're doing, and I think you do. So that's all I know.
It stays at the bottom of that deepest pit that we've got.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good choice.
Indeed.
Well, whoever eventually buys that thing, I'm praying for their soul.
Oh, well, you're busy praying for their soul. I'm praying for their inheritance.
Oh, well, look at us. Between the two of us, we've prayed for everything. Of the giant thingies, which one's the fastest? The fastest.
Depends.
On?
Fastest in the air, fastest on land.
In the air in our land. Hmm,
I don't think I actually know the answer to that question.
fair enough.
I would
Look,
guess that some of the birds would be the fastest.
yeah. How? Hmm. Do you know what a thunderbird is?
You do not.
What's a thunderbird?
Nasty little beast.
Huh?
They make a very loud noise each day.
Like thunder?
Yeah. Fills an entire area.
Oh my. Probably makes a lot of people deaf.
And even more wish they were.
Oh, they must be beautiful to look at. I mean, something with the name of Thunderbird.
You seem very interested in how a creature looks.
I'm not. They pause. I'm not gonna buy something because of the way it looks, but some things are just pretty to think about, you know? For example, I saw a gold dragon the other day. From afar, but still.
Gold dragon.
Yep. Cross my heart.
And where were you when you saw this gold dragon?
On the road. It was fine. way overhead. Please don't go after it.
You think I'm gonna fuck with a dragon?
You have a fucking void dragon.
Yeah, and I paid for that.
Please
Never
don't
again.
pay anyone else. Please don't pay anyone else to go after the dragon.
They turn around and lift up their shirt, revealing a massive scar. No, I
Oh.
mean I paid for that. Turns
Oh.
out, void dragon wounds cannot be healed.
You want me to try?
I have been resurrected, reincarnated, generated. Nothing.
James, I'm
Nada.
gonna try. I lay a hand on him
Alright.
and I heal him for 1d6 plus 4 spiritual. 9.
Okay, you see it close up very slightly.
I look up at him.
Try with it again.
And
Again, there's another slight close.
8. I can
If
roll
you can
8.
heal this wound, I'll give you something for half of the price.
He pauses. And may I be frank with you?
Sure.
We won't retract the deal, you promise?
Deal.
Yeah, I'm stuck between telling you that I would absolutely do this for free, no questions asked, and trying to peddle for more because that's what my master would do.
Well, I appreciate that, little one.
He smiles. And I heal him for 51.
Okay. The wound is 1/3 closed. Sorry, 1/30th closed. It'll take 30 days of this. If that's how much you can heal in one single day.
Do we do key? Let me check. Key responds in, I believe, a short rest, right?
Yep.
And no, I can do this many times a day. A short rest is an hour.
Okay, so you're going to go meditate.
Yep, I meditate for a while.
Alright.
And then I come back. And I heal him for 10d6 plus 40. 85.
Okay.
And I meditate again, and I come back,
That's
and I
another
do it again. 82.
Okay, and that's about as far as we can progress in the timeline because the others will probably want either your attention or you to go do something by this point.
Well, can I choose a familiar before then?
Sure.
Oh, well, I'm assuming. Well, how much did this actually heal?
You've done 3. You've done 10%.
How does he look by the end of it?
You can see where it started to close up.
Yeah, but how does he look as a person?
Quite pleased.
He's lived with this. He's lived with it for ages. I'm gonna ask him how he feels.
Substantially better.
I give him a bright smile and I tell him I'm gonna keep going until he's better.
Alright.
Yep. And now in terms of the familiar stuff, because I think I should probably fucking finish that before closing the session, since that was the point of the session. It'd be so dumb of me if I didn't. Um, Yeah, I think I'm gonna get I can't. There's only one giant thing that's flyable, and bats don't do well in daylight, right?
I'm reasonably confident that bats do not do well in daylight.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a fucking poor bat in daylight, which where I'm gonna spend most of my day. I'm assuming a fairy dragon is tiny, right?
Yeah,
I believe it
fairly.
was like the size. Yeah, and they're like the size of a cat, is that right? Small.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. And the pseudo dragon is even smaller.
Hmm.
Yep, thought as much. So no cool dragon ride. I'm assuming that he didn't have any specific recommendations, right? So, mm,
Nothing over anything else.
yeah. Which of these creatures is like the smartest? I suppose the most capable of conversation, if any of them. But I don't know.
Fairy dragon, I believe, is the most intelligent, followed by the imp, homuncula. Probably the pixies are most intelligent.
Pixie would be kind of like the last one, right? And like enslaved. Actually, can I ask him about that?
Sure.
Is it slavery? How does that work? She's genuinely curious. She's not just like accusing him.
There was a nest that was destroyed, how long ago now? 60, 70 years ago?
Uh huh.
Pixies went all over the place. Some caused mayhem, so they were fought off by most adventurers. Some of
Makes
us
sense.
managed to save some of them, and we added them to the store.
But like, are they free? Are they kept in cages? I've met this one that was kept in this tiny cage. It was horrible.
We transport them in tiny cages, but usually we just keep them in one big cage.
Is it big enough for them to live in normally?
Uh, Comfortably, yes. Free, no.
I see. Because you couldn't just let them go, right? Because of the mayhem you said.
Pixies can be
Curious.
quite the troublemakers.
I think one of them would make. Is that the same? Is it the same for the forest dryads?
Not exactly. I don't really want to talk about the forest giant.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag up bad memories. Oh, by the way, the healing I did to your wound, it's spiritual.
Spiritual.
Yeah, it can be inferred that the dragon damaged your soul and not your body.
That's where I know her from.
Oh,
She was one of the clerics that I saw.
ah,
That would have been nearly 600 years ago.
oh wow. Well, I can't imagine magical healing did much to that wound.
What was it she said? Plus 22. Would you like to spend an inspiration on this? It's a history check for him.
Incredible.
Can never get a nat 20 when I want it. I can't remember.
And give him the help action.
He already has advantage from the inspiration.
Well, I am proficient in history. He tries again, maybe.
You can have one final attempt.
Come
Would you like to spend another
on.
inspiration?
I'll give him the help action.
You can't. You're not familiar with this advantage.
Okay, fine. Go. Out of curiosity.
That's not high enough.
Well, it's really high, though.
She was one of the people that I first met when I was setting up the shop.
Really? You said she said something to you?
Indeed.
You want me to call her out?
I mean, if you'd like.
I'm gonna call her over.
All right.
And I tell her that the nice man in the shop remembers her and that I managed to heal some of his wounds.
Oh, so it worked out in the end.
Ah, yeah. It was, I used spiritual healing because of my key, and it managed to close some of the wounds.
That's good to hear.
He said he knows you.
Sure he does.
He asked you for help, apparently 600 years ago.
That would be quite a while for someone like me.
You wanna go see him?
No, that's okay.
Okay. I go back to the guy and dejectedly tell him that she didn't really want to see him. She was doing something else.
All right.
Anyway, familiars before I run out of time. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna ask him. Okay, so I'm assuming I don't want to buy the forest riot.
They can be quite powerful creatures if you train them up right. You've got to both
Would they be
nurture their connection to nature and their loyalty to you.
would they be a good ally, a good friend?
What makes someone a good ally or friend?
He pauses. I suppose a desire to form connection with others. To help, in my case, that would be make someone a good ally.
She could make a fantastic ally.
But
No, but
Really?
indeed.
Do you think she would suit me?
I can't tell if she'll suit you or not.
But
No buts. You're going to choose to go with them, then you should choose to go with them. I'm not giving you any grounds to come back and say it's my fault.
oh, I wouldn't blame you. Come on. I'm just asking for advice. Been doing this for a while. Probably know way more than I do.
Okay, then my advice would be to save up some more, come back, and get something bigger.
Why is that?
You don't seem to be the sort of person who would settle for something that will do. You want the best, and the best costs.
I want the best friend, not necessarily the best fighter.
You can't buy a best friend.
I know. Boy, wouldn't that be convenient? I'm a bit, I'm just a bit worried about the dryad. Just, they don't seem like creatures that would do well in captivity.
Well, it is always difficult to capture nature.
Yeah, but also, why would you?
What's your name, little girl?
Alyssa,
Alyssa. Well, Alyssa.
by the way, she's not like at all aggressive. She's just curious.
I figure. He's going to say, wait here a moment. He goes into the
Okay.
back.
She sits and waits.
He comes back with a stone.
He furrows her eyebrows.
This stone's been enchanted with the sending spell. You can cast it twice per day.
Oh,
I will let
like a
you know
sending
if I
stone.
get something in stock that reminds me of you,
Okay.
and you can use that to respond to me.
Right. You don't need, you don't need to give it to me though. She pulled the sending stone out of her pocket.
Well, if you've already got one, then he puts it back in his.
I don't want to scam you. Like, sure, it would be profit, but that would be wrong of me.
You're a real weird kid.
I am, aren't I?
What temple are you from?
The one down from Karn.
He goes over and grabs a map and spreads it out for you to mark.
I mark it.
Right. Good to know.
You gonna avoid it? She
Heck no.
smiles.
If there's more people like you there, you can
Huh.
almost see dollar signs in his eyes.
Well, I'm not sure you're gonna get much headway with my master. Well, keep me updated if you find anything that reminds me of you of me.
Will do.
In the meanwhile, though, I do have one thing I think I'm gonna go out with.
Oh.
Yep. Let me check the price. Where was it? Yep. So I put 100 platinum on the table.
Whoa, what's this for?
Target the Drake.
Fair enough. It'll be here in a week.
Okay. Oh, you don't have
It's,
it, do you?
no, it's one of the creatures that we've got to order in. Pretty much anything over 500 gold, got to be ordered.
Oh, really? Then I don't think it's worth it. I just said he died earlier, and I was thinking maybe I could do something to help. Is there anything you think I would do a good job helping keep alive? She looked a bit embarrassed at having forgotten the Drake thing, because I forgot about it. She just kind of over focused on these things die young because something eventually eats them. What year is it, by the way?
I believe he uses a mortal calendar, so it is year 31,000 something, something, something.
Yeah, but what map should I be in?
What do you mean?
There's Celestia 27,
Ah,
28, 29, 30,
you
and
should be in
36.
year 29.
Okay, cool. That was the wrong map. You know what? I know what I'm gonna take then. If the Drake isn't available, reminded that I still want him to tell me if he finds anything that reminds him of me.
Yeah.
I'm putting. What's the price again? My eyes are great with lists. Trust me. Assuming, do you have any fairy dragons in stock?
How much are they?
Area 3,000.
You'll have to get them ordered in.
Right. We go down the list then. Oh yeah, the only thing they have in stock are pixies, right? Which I'm not gonna get for obvious
Any
reasons.
under 500.
500. Oh yeah, but he said he has pixies in stock, and pixies are 1,000.
No, he's told you how they store pixies.
Ah, no, he said there was
I
a
actually
nest a
do
while
think
ago.
he has pixies.
Yes, he had a nest a while ago. They had to capture them.
No, the adventurers captured them, and some stores that this is one branch of I think 6 branch company.
Oh really? I'm assuming he doesn't know it.
He does not.
Well, in that case, I'm about to do something. One of these. You think of Fairy Fox meta? Fairy Fox and Misty Owl,
Um,
or Winter Sprite.
honestly, they've each got their own good thing going for.
You know, but I'm between those three. Like in meta, I think I should probably, even if Alyssa wants to get something that really fits her, I also think she should probably try to get something that really fits her. That helps her even a bit. I think the winters. How do I feed winter sprites?
That would be the question.
Yeah. Does he know how I feed them? How I keep them alive?
Who knows how?
Will he
You'd
tell me?
recommend buying some. Let me get it up. Hey, natives at Feywild.
Yep. That's why I thought about it, because I have Fey
They
touched
eat
and Fey
magic.
marked. They eat magic?
Indeed.
So how do I feed him if I'm not a spellcaster?
It is unrecommended for you to do so.
So I should probably get something that doesn't eat magic. That's a shame. It would fit with my Fate Touch feat. Guess I'm gonna go with the Misty Owl then.
All right.
So I pay him, I believe. Misty Owl. 45 platinum.
All right.
It's 450. And I tell him that after I'm done healing him, he can give me whatever he
Ooh.
finds that fits me for half price.
Tell you what.
Huh?
You stay here to heal me, and you can have this. Uh, can you place the 5,000 on the table?
Yeah, put it.
Perfect. He's just going to quickly check that none of the currency's fake. Then he's going to go and grab an egg.
Is it the egg? Question mark.
The egg question mark. Just for the record, I don't even know what this thing is. All I know is what the egg is described as.
Which is?
A silver, almost stone-like egg with several patterns woven throughout it. It's almost like they're hexagons, pentagrams, and all these other weird shapes in fragments of the egg.
What is that?
I have no idea. I bought it because it was strange.
You have no idea when it's gonna hatch or anything?
No clue.
James Meta, do I know if my master would be okay staying here to heal him?
Yes, she would be.
And I think we're gonna stay here to heal him because it's someone that needs help. The guy is really fucked up. He deserves to be helped. The egg question mark. I only have 5,000 though, not 50,000.
Yep.
Okay. I don't suppose I could argue a cat out of you for that? Also?
A cat.
Yeah.
Fuck it, why not?
Actually, yeah, like a cat. Because he offered a cat earlier. If I had a choice, I would pick a Riven, but. Alright, I guess we're getting an egg and a cat.
Alright.
Let me check something. How many short rests can you usually do in a day? An hour, right? 5 minus 8 divide 2.
You can pretty much do at most 12. Though,
Yep,
that's really pushing yourself. You should really only do 4 to
8 or
5.
9. Well, I can do 8 or 9 mathematically if I still want to sleep normally.
Yes, but you're pushing yourself to do that.
Yep. So I guess 7. If it's 7.
And while you're resting, you're not properly resting because it's a short rest.
Yeah, I know, but if I subtract the 8 for sleep, 'cause I'm a human. So it's 25 minus 8 by 2. 8, I was able to do about 10% in 3, I believe. So if I divide 8, 3, 2.5. Yep, so 2.5. And so 25%. I'll be doing 25% per day, so 4 days.
Alright.
In 4 days, you can heal it completely. I guess I get a. Can I change a cat for a raven? Same price.
No.
Okay, then a cat it is.
Because he sells way more ravens than he sells cats.
Well, then I guess I get a cat. How many session extensions was this?
2 so far.
Okay. Oh, we've been here for 2 hours?
Mhm.
Cool. -2. 18. And we have to stop here now, right? Because we ran out of time.